Most people over 60 think getting winded on the stairs is just part of getting older. It's not. It's a sign that an engine is shrinking, and nobody told you it could be stopped. There's a number. One number that American researchers tracked across hundreds of thousands of people over decades. And what they found didn't just change how medicine looks at fitness. It changed how medicine looks at survival. It's not cholesterol. It's not blood pressure. It's something most people have never measured, and it's quietly dropping every single year. That number is your VO2 max. And what the research shows about it is going to change the way you think about exercise, about aging, and about the years still ahead of you. Here's the first thing people get wrong. Exercise is exercise. Walk every day, do some stretching, hit the gym a couple times a week, and it all counts the same. It doesn't. The research is clear. The type of effort matters, and most people are doing the wrong kind for what actually matters after 60. The second belief is that physical decline after 60 is inevitable. That you lose your breath, your strength, your energy, because you got old. And that's just the sentence, not a variable. Research published in a major American medical journal tracked more than 100,000 people and found that those with low cardiorespiratory fitness had a risk of death comparable to, and in some cases worse than, smokers and diabetics. That's not a footnote. That's a headline finding that rarely gets explained to the people who need to hear it most. And the third belief is the most dangerous one, that it's too late. That at 60, 65, 70, the train already left. The biology says otherwise. A well-conditioned 60-year-old can carry the engine of an out-of-shape 30-year-old. And VO2 max responds to training at any age. What changes is how you train, not whether you can. VO2 max sounds technical. It's not. It's the maximum volume of oxygen your body can absorb and actually use in a single minute of all-out effort. Think of it as the horsepower rating of your engine. Bigger number, bigger engine. That's really all it is. But here's why it predicts how long you live. To use a lot of oxygen, an entire chain of systems has to work well at the same time. Your lungs pull oxygen from the air. Your heart pumps oxygen-rich blood through your body. Your blood vessels carry it where it's needed. Your muscles receive it. And deep inside those muscle cells, tiny structures called mitochondria take that oxygen, combine it with the fuel you've eaten, and burn it to generate energy. VO2 max measures how well that entire relay team performs right now, all at once. If any single runner in that chain is weak, the number drops. That's why it tells you so much. It's not just a fitness score. It's a report card on your heart, your lungs, your circulation, and your cells, all at once. Here's what nobody says out loud. Starting around age 30, VO2 max naturally drops about 10% per decade if you do nothing about it. That means by 60, without intervention, your engine may have already shrunk by 30% from its peak. And it doesn't announce itself. It shows up as the walk that got harder. The flight of stairs that now needs a pause. The afternoon that turned into a mandatory nap. This is what it looks like in real life. Robert is 67. For years he walked 30 minutes a day and thought that was enough. Today he stops at the second landing in the airport. Not because he got old, but because his engine shrank and nobody explained what was happening or what to do about it. James is 64. He's been training the right way for 3 years. He can hold a conversation while walking uphill. He carries his groceries without stopping. After a knee surgery last year, he left the hospital faster than his doctor expected, because he had reserve. That's the word the research uses. The bigger the engine, the more reserve you carry. And reserve is what determines how much a setback, illness, surgery, a fall, a period of inactivity, actually costs you. Someone with low reserve who spends 2 weeks in the hospital comes out the other side visibly older. Slower. A different person than the one who walked in. Someone with reserve comes out close to where they started. The National Institute on Aging is direct on this. Cardiorespiratory fitness is one of the most reliable predictors of functional independence in older adults. This isn't about running a marathon. It's about being able to get up off the floor if you fall. It's about not needing someone to carry your own grocery bag at 78. And here's the part most people never connect. What you eat affects this number directly. Mitochondria need real fuel to work. When the diet runs mostly on ultra-processed food, the engine doesn't burn as efficiently, regardless of how much you exercise. Research on metabolic health and mitochondrial function confirms this consistently. The exercise and the nutrition work together. You can't fully fix one without addressing the other. All of that may feel like a lot to take in. It is. Because the honest reality is that most people are losing ground quietly and could be doing something about it. Here's the good news. VO2 max responds to training. The honest news is that not all training is equal, and consistency matters more than any single hard session. There are 4 things the evidence actually supports. None of them are miracles. But together, they move the number, and what that number means for the next 20 years of your life. A meta-analysis pulling together more than 50 separate studies confirmed that HIIT is significantly more effective at raising VO2 max than steady moderate exercise. The reason is biological. When you push your heart close to its limit, it's forced to adapt. It learns to fill with more blood and pump more out with every single beat. At the same time, your muscles get the signal to build more mitochondria, more energy factories inside your cells. More factories means more oxygen burned. The number goes up. 2 protocols have solid evidence behind them. The first is called 4x4, 4 minutes of hard effort at 90 to 95% of your maximum heart rate, followed by 3 minutes of easy recovery, repeated 4 times. The second is called 15 to 15. 15 seconds of near maximum effort, followed by 15 seconds of recovery, repeated 40 to 60 times. What matters isn't your speed, it's the heart rate you reach. A brisk uphill walk can be legitimate HIIT for a 68-year-old. An easy jog might not be. A simple reference point, 220 minus your age, gives an estimate of your maximum heart rate. Any decent heart rate monitor does this calculation for you in real time. Now, the honest part about risk. HIIT without proper progression causes injury. An injury after 60 isn't a temporary inconvenience. It can mean months away from exercise, with fitness losses that take twice as long to rebuild. That's why this is once or twice a week, not every day. The goal is to stress the engine, not crack it. Steady moderate exercise, a brisk walk, an easy bike ride, a comfortable swim, also improves VO2 max, just more slowly. But its main job isn't to spike the number fast. It's to build the foundation that makes HIIT possible without destroying the body in the process. The classic reference point. If you can hold a conversation while exercising, you're at the right intensity for base aerobic work. If you can't get a full sentence out, you're doing HIIT. That's the line. 2 to 3 sessions of 30 to 60 minutes a week at this intensity builds the engine's foundation. Harvard Health and the NIH are consistent on this recommendation for adults over 60. This one isn't optional after 60. The National Institute on Aging documents that adults lose between 3% and 5% of muscle mass per decade starting at age 30, a process that accelerates after 60. Muscle isn't aesthetics. It's the tissue that supports your joints, regulates your blood sugar, holds your posture, and gets you off the floor when you fall. And there's a direct connection to VO2 max. Muscle contains mitochondria. More muscle means more capacity to use oxygen, which means a better number. Strength training and cardiorespiratory fitness aren't competing priorities. They're partners. At least 2 sessions per week working your major muscle groups. It doesn't have to be a bodybuilding gym. It has to be progressive and consistent. The research on sedentary behavior is unambiguous. Sitting for long consecutive periods damages cardiovascular health, independently of how much structured exercise you get at other times of day. The CDC and NIH document this extensively. You can't sit for 8 hours, go to the gym for an hour, and consider the problem solved. The fix isn't complicated. Break up the sitting. Get up, move around, walk. Not as a replacement for structured exercise, as a separate layer of protection. Continuous movement throughout the day is metabolically different from 3 hours of training followed by 8 hours stationary. This fourth piece doesn't directly spike your VO2 max, but it protects the gains from the other 3 and reduces baseline cardiovascular risk, which is exactly what matters when the goal is the long game. We started with that shortness of breath on the stairs, the afternoon that turned into a nap, the feeling that the body is falling behind. Now you know what's actually behind it. It's not just age. It's an engine that can be trained, and that most people let shrink because nobody ever explained the mechanism clearly. A 60-year-old who starts now won't compete with someone who trained their whole life. But they can buy years of functional independence that make a real difference. The difference between needing help at 75 or not. Between walking out of the hospital or being helped out. Between getting down on the floor with your grandchildren or watching from the chair. The engine can be bigger. The reserve can be built. You know what to do. What happens from here is up to you. If this video made sense to you, subscribe to the channel. There's more content like this here. Leave a comment telling us which of these 4 things you already do, and which one you're starting next. And if someone you know needs to hear this, share it with them.